All right, you guys, another one of my favorite type of team calls because it's question and answer, so simple, um, straight to the point, offer you guys as much value as we can. And again, welcome if you're brand new. This is what a team call looks like. Usually we have some kind of presentation, we answer questions, or if I'm feeling super motivational and inspirational that week, I'll probably rant about something, or not rant, but like more like preach about something that I think that you guys should hear. But anyway, so today is, let's see, Thursday, January 14th. Still plenty of time in the month to hit Success Club and recruit some coaches. And, well, let's just get into the slides because I have some announcements. Share screen. Can you guys quickly give me a thumbs up if you can see this? Perfect. Okay. Announcements. So some quick thoughts, and I'm going to ask to see your guys' thumbs up or thumbs down for this idea, but I got this idea from Stephanie when I had a one-on-one with her, like I want to say it was Tuesday or yesterday. Basically, we're always tweaking our system. There's always new ideas on how to get you guys properly trained or how to find a system so you guys can properly train your brand new coaches. And so I was wondering about your thoughts on a 7-day weekly coach training group. So every single week, like every single Monday, there's going to be a group that opens up, and all the coaches or not even weekly, it could be once a week, it could be once every other week, or it could be once a month. But basically, it's going to be like we used to do the Girl Boss Boot Camp, except this is literally just 7 days, and it's the very, very basics. I looked at it, and it's like perfect. It would start like every Monday and go for 7 days, and you just add in your brand new coaches, whoever signed up in the last week if it's weekly, last 2 weeks if it's every other week, or last month or whatever. And you just add them in there, and it talks about the importance of Emerald and talks about Success Club and just the very, very basics, so that you're not spending a lot of time, individually explaining these concepts to each new coach, because as your teams grow, then you have a lot more messages popping up in your messenger of the same questions over and over and over again. So this is kind of not as long as a Girl Boss Boot Camp, but just like only 7 days. And, sometimes the email training, for instance, for some of us, the email training works really well. For me personally, it doesn't. I don't think I have a single coach that has completed it, and it just gets overwhelming sometimes to give one-on-one feedback. And so this is just an idea. Are you guys interested in something like this? I just want to see like a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, cool. Then I will get that in the works. Or I'll talk to Amy and we can get that in the works for you guys and just make it like more of a bigger thing. Okay, so sign up for Punta Cana. So as you guys have heard, or maybe you haven't heard, the Success Club trip this year is, why am I blanking? The cruise to Jamaica and Haiti. And this is a trip that I remember signing up for last year. So the way that this Punta Cana trip is coming up, I remember thinking that it would be so far into the future, like, oh my God, there's a whole nother year and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like right around the corner. It's so exciting. So I'm really excited that, the next trip opened up, and it's opening up that's supposed to be January 19th. Sorry, guys, that already passed. So January 19th on Tuesday. Do not, if there's any little teeny bit of interest of having a free trip to the Dominican Republic, do not hesitate to sign up for the trip, because it will sell out in 10 minutes flat. The cruise sold out in 10 minutes flat, and even though there's 2 trips opening up, so there's a back-to-back, I think it's like 3 or 4 nights, and then back-to-back. So there's the coral and the teal. I think those are the 2 waves. What are the colors? I remember their colors. And one is like over the weekend, and the one is right before. I think the majority of our team is signing up for the second one. But just because, don't worry about what the team is doing. Just find the dates that work for you, and then sign up for those dates, and you're going to have fun regardless. Even though there's 2 trips, it's still only 5,000 rooms total, because it's just one resort. And that means only potentially 5,000 out of 400,000 coaches will only get to go, potentially. And so the wait list is going to be huge, and you do not want to be on the wait list, because I never got off the wait list to Cancun, so I didn't go this year. And so, the basic rules is there's a $300 non-refundable fee just to claim your spot. So once you pay that, and once you're registered, you have a room for sure. And now the trip, so the basic room is $1,200. So how it's going to work is Beachbody will basically bill you $300 every quarter. So 300 times 4, so that's $1,200. But with your Success Club points, so every single Success Club point you earn, that's like $5. And once you hit Success Club 5, so if you hit Success Club 6, 7, 8, and then beyond, each Success Club point then will be $10, with January Success Club points being doubled. So up to $500. And I remember last year in January, I got all those $500. So that's already basically 2 of the billing cycles basically covered and just from January. So I think I had the resort paid off by like August, and so did Amy or something like that. And so the trip just already was paid off within 6 months, which is amazing. But, and then there's a $750 room credit added automatically. So hello, free excursions, like $750 that you can spend at the resort, just there, added to your room automatically. And then if you hit, I want to make sure that this is still a thing, and I want to make sure
It's not.
It's not? Okay.
Yeah, that was just for cruise.
Okay, so I guess they did this before, but it doesn't matter now. And then one guest is free, so you get to bring a free guest. You can bring a friend, you can bring another coach, you can bring a husband, you can bring whoever. And then kids are usually just a small additional cost, unless your guest is your child, then that's considered your guest. So you can take a family trip on Beachbody's money just for doing your job anyway. You guys should be hitting Success Club anyway, so might as well get a free trip out of it. And do not hesitate. Don't worry about the $300. Just if you have any slight interest, just do it. Trust me.
Yeah, and you can always add kids later. Like I just added Malcolm last week to the cruise, and he was only like $150 or something.
Yeah.
To come, so
yeah, $150 for a whole freaking vacation. And
he won't remember. No. I said that he won't remember because he's a child. But anyway.
He'll still have fun.
Yeah.
And another thing is about the guest. Don't I remember I put in my now ex-boyfriend as my guest, and you can always change that. So don't worry about it. Just find someone who you want to go, or say that you're going to have a guest, and then you can worry about them later. I know for the cruise we have up until February 15th, which is a month before the trip, to give an exact guest passport and name and everything. So don't even worry about it. Like, you can just decide who to bring later. And then a quick reminder on the Facebook algorithm. So you guys know that Facebook has an algorithm. Instagram is now having an algorithm. Everything has an algorithm, and your job is to just stay on top of it and just learn as much. As a coach, your job is just to keep learning. Social media changes all the time, and so you just want to stay on top of it to make sure that you're not wasting time and you're maximizing your business as much as you can on social media. But something that Stephanie pointed out to me that I knew about, but I just thought, oh my God, most of the coaches don't know about this. And basically, she said, go to your newsfeed on Facebook. So I have my newsfeed turned off on my laptop, and my laptop is usually where I get my work done. But sometimes I'll scroll through my newsfeed on my phone, and just a quick little examination. Scroll past the first 20 to 25 posts. Just give it a quick scroll and see who you see. If you're seeing other coaches, mostly, if 20 out of the 25 posts are other coaches, like your upline and then all your friend coaches that you are and your downline, if that's all you see, that means that only other coaches are seeing your posts. Who you see is also seeing you. So that just means you're spending way too much time engaging with other coaches. I know I was guilty of scrolling through my newsfeed and only liking other coaches' post-workout photos or whatever they were posting. And then now I realize that by me only engaging with other coaches, that means only other coaches are seeing my posts. And I'm not trying to sign up other coaches because they're already coaches, right? Or I'm not trying to, I have no use for that. And so you want to make sure, and then if you want to make sure you're engaging with all your Facebook friends and engage with as many non-coaches as possible. Because, so when you do a scroll, try it for a couple days. Just go to your friends list and go and and comment on, engage with just people, all kinds of people on your Facebook friends list. just spend like, that's what I'm going to do after this team call actually tonight while I'm doing my personal development or while I'm doing something mindless or listening to something mindless or a Beachbody training or something. If you're brand new, just go and like go on your Facebook friends list and just click on people's profiles and just go and like and comment, engage with them and add some value, like compliment them. If you see a pretty selfie, you know, say, hey, you're gorgeous girly or like something like that, just anything. And then go back to your newsfeed the next day and see if you see more random people popping up, because those people that you're engaging with are going to see your posts. And, you know, always use your newsfeed time wisely and don't waste a lot of your time engaging with other coaches. Use the team pages for that. That's what the team page is for. Make sure that you're utilizing your time wisely and really think about what are business building tasks versus just fun tasks. And then reminder on following other coaches. So if you're brand new, if you're a coach under a year, I would say this is an amazing idea. So what I did when I first started is I looked at the top 25 coaches in my online office. This is something that we're all told to do. We all do. And it's such a great idea. And so I, found them. I looked at their name. I typed their name on Facebook and Instagram, and I found all their profiles because I wanted to see what they post and why they're so successful and why their social media accounts are doing so well. And this is great inspiration because then you're like, oh, like this kind of post is really engaging. Let me set it off to fit my own personality and let me give it a try. Or see like why this coach is so successful with selling Shakeology. Maybe it's because their Shakeology posts are like, really colorful or, just, you guys know what I'm talking about. But if you've been in the business for over 12 months, it's time to unfollow them all. So this is something that I actually did a couple days ago, and Amy and I talked about it, how we just kind of went back and unfollowed most of the coaches. Unless, there's a few that I'll still follow that are really inspirational to me, and only those coaches that I do not play the comparison game with, because something that you struggle with really at more like diamond and above is playing the comparison game and seeing coaches who sign up at the same time as you fly past you. So there could be like coaches who have been in the business for only 12 months and already a 10-star diamond. You're like, oh my God, I feel so behind. Like I suck. And then it just gets into your head and you start comparing. And really the only comparison game you should ever play is you versus you. You should always, look back at your business, see that you're advancing every single day. And, it's truly a you versus you. And when you're following too many other coaches, and you start playing the comparison game, you stop focusing on your business and you focus way too much on other people's businesses, and that is not good. And so my focus is really to put my blinders on and focus on my own personality. I don't want any other coach's personality to get in the way. I don't want to be like, oh, this person's post is so successful, let me just copy it because it's worked so well for them. That's not how it works. And also find inspiration from other entrepreneurs. I followed a lot of even like Isogenics, Roden and Fields, other network marketing, really successful millionaires. I follow them on Facebook because I want to see why they're successful and why, how it's really about how you present yourself and how you present your personality that determines your success rather than the products, like branding yourself. So I'm really interested in that. I've unfollowed and unfriended a lot of Beachbody coaches, especially on Instagram. If I accidentally unfollowed you, I usually follow my downline, but if I accidentally follow you, I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with you. It's just like something I was just like, oh, Beachbody coach, and follow. And then again, if you're brand new, ignore this advice. Like you want to gain inspiration, you want to see what other coaches are doing, and it's totally fine. I don't know where my mom is calling me right now. Now, questions. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Samantha had a ton, so most of her team call is based on Samantha's questions. And then Jacqueline has one question, and we answered all these really quickly. Samantha asked, just because I was reading it on here, and I just want to answer real quick, is there a reason why my TBD links wouldn't be working? No, they should always work. If you're talking about challenge group links, Okay. Sorry, guys. One sec.
Yeah, basically the link should keep working. Sometimes
I locked my mom out of the house. Sorry, guys. What were you saying, Amy?
No, I was just like following up with what you said. Sometimes the email from the Coach Mobile will go to spam and you have to resend it, or it'll just be a little bit delayed and it'll come in later. But the link should work.
Also, It could be because I'm not sure, but I'm just assuming. I know if you grab a challenge pack link and then you test it out yourself and you're a coach and you sign in as a coach and you go into that link, it's not going to show up because you're a coach and coaches can't purchase challenge packs. And so if you log out and then test that link again, you'll see if it truly works or not, and usually will work if you're referring to challenge pack links. Now, let's get into the goodies. So, selling versus giving away Shakeology samples. Giveaway is a big no-no, in my opinion, unless it's a close family or friend. Investment, because I believe that when you invest in something, you value something more. So even if you buy Shakeology, like a box of the packets, and decide to sell them at $5 to $6 a package, like basically value it. So Shakeology would be like $4 something a packet for Coach. And then, like, if you have to ship it, like, keep that in mind. So usually $5 to $6 a packet. You're more than welcome to do that. Just make sure that they sign up as like a free customer under you in case they like it and they want to come back. And if they purchase it, it's already automatically under you. They're not going to go to someone else or accidentally go, anywhere else. Just make sure to give them instructions on how to purchase it and tell them about your challenge group and tell them about all the value you can offer for them. I think it's much better, in my opinion, and less work for you. You always want to minimize your work and make this as easy and simple as possible, because we do have the sampler pack link, and that way they get to try all the flavors. There's no hassle for you. And I've noticed a much better return rate that way because they value what they purchase and they got to try it all. And, just in case they really hate the vanilla and you only sell them the vanilla, they're going to think that, oh, all Shakeology sucks just because they didn't like the vanilla. And so that way they get to try all the flavors and see what they like.
I'm fine with giveaways, but I think there needs to be a reason for it. I'm not just going to give someone a Shakeology packet because they're interested in it. Say, like, if you have your challenge, like, what did I say? Oh, sorry, my screen is really dark. Give me 1 second. I had to escape from my child because he was yelling at me in the other room. So, okay. So, like, if you have a challenge group going on and you have a prize, they could totally include samples. Like, I had never tried Shakeology until I won one of Catherine's challenge groups, like, back in 2014, and she sent me a sample of Shakeology. And after that, I was, like, hooked, and I, like, wanted more. And so that was the only reason I ever ordered it, because I'd never tried it before, and I wasn't really interested in it either. So yeah, but that's also a good idea for the other products, like the new performance line. Like, you can send out samples of those to people who have won something. Like, say you do like a weekly challenge in your challenge group or whatever. Another way I've used giveaways is as an incentive to participate in coaching sneak peeks, and it kind of like gets people in there and participating. Say, like, we'll do a drawing or whatever. I haven't done that so much lately, but in the past that's been something that's worked for me. And yeah, just for winning a weekly challenge or anything like that. Selling packets is a really good way to build your market and get extra product off your hand as well. So, like, I had a surplus of Shakeology and decided to order the packets for the next month so that I could give people the option to try it, but I had them buy it from me because, that way you can get your money back as well as, give people an incentive to want it. And it just increases your market. If you post in a buy sell trade group or whatever you use, that you have some for sale, then people come to you and talk to you about it that might not have had a conversation with you otherwise. And yeah, so just don't be so motivated by a sale that you compromise your own value, because what you're here for as a coach is not necessarily to just like deal product, because it's easy to fall into that because, like, we want to close a sale really bad, especially when it's like, a slower month, or when it's like, you're one of your first months as a coach, you're not really sure if people are going to take you seriously. But what you're selling is you, and you need to think of yourself as the commodity. Like, you are what people want, your motivation, the style that you lead your groups with, all of that. So people need to invest in you and realize that it's your business, because if you start giving away everything for free, people aren't going to respect that it's your business, and you're also not going to attract kind of people that are going to view it as a business for you. So that's just my 2 cents.
Perfect. Free group to paid group conversion. So, number 1, note that all free customers are considered seeds planted. So that's great to begin with. Free groups are awesome for that. And you offer them value free of charge. And so, really focusing on these free groups and making them really amazing. People are going to be like, whoa, if this is what I got for free. I wonder what I can get if I paid for something. And so what I did in the past, I haven't run a free group in a while, which I was actually thinking of doing one for January, but PM every single free member and ask them if they enjoyed the group and what their goals are. So you want to connect with every single one that's participated, especially if you're the one that brought them in there. And then post within the group that you have a 21-day fix challenge group or whatever challenge group you choose to do, opening up with just a few spots left. So just making sure that they're all aware that you have other groups that they can join, especially if they had great results. They're going to be really motivated to come and work with you again. And just know in general that they'll come back to you when they're ready for you, especially after you've already reached out to them and they know that you're there for them, and they know that that paid group option is open. Just know that they will come back. And also what works for me because of my consistency, and what works for Amy because of her consistency, and all the rest of us, is just keep posting on your personal page your results, your challengers' results, and keep engaging with your previous clients on Facebook. So again, the whole engagement, like go back to your friends list and engage with people so that they're more likely to keep seeing your posts, and they'll keep remembering. I had an example. I had someone in my free clean eating group back in January of last year who didn't purchase a challenge pack until November of the same year, and she just said, I loved your free group. I still remember your free clean eating challenge from January. I loved it. Now I finally want to join. And so just know that as long as they're aware of it, they will come back. As long as you're consistent, and it's all about being here. Be here next year. So keep, really stay consistent and just do your work every single day. It's going to come back to you tenfold.
Yeah, I love free groups. This is like my promo picture from the last free group I did, but which reminds me I probably should do another one soon. But so yeah, not only are they seeds planted, but it's a really good way to build trust with your cold market. It's a really good way to get Instagram followers or like page followers converted over to your Facebook friend. There's not currently a way to find like an easy way to get your Instagram followers over to Facebook. So this is a great way because you can promote it on Instagram and your followers will see it and say, okay, free, how do I do this? And then you can get them to add you on Facebook, and they'll see a lot more of you, and you'll probably see a lot more of them as well. And that builds that relationship right away. And it gets people seeing you in their news feed because they're interacting with you because of this. So it also shows that you care about people and not just about profit. So if you can get people results for free and you give away all of your free tips, and I frequently do that. If someone can't afford a challenge pack, I say, okay, well, this is what I did with MyFitnessPal and it's free, and this is how you can track your macros and all that. And I'll give them another tool so that they know I'm there because I care about them and not just because I want to sell them something. And then when they get tired of counting their macros, or they want something easier, or they want a workout program, they will come back to you. It's also a good place to have the samples we just talked about as prizes, because frequently I've sent out samples as prizes in free groups and gotten people converted over to a challenger or a coach because of it. And that's because they try it, they like it, and they think, okay, cool, this isn't really some gimmick. Like, I actually do feel better when I use my sampler package Shakeology or whatever it was. Yeah, or get people hooked, but not really, but they can see what more of our products are like. And there's lots of different options. I really like running a free bod group, which has people sign up for Beachbody On Demand because the first 30 days are free. And that gets them signed up under you. It gets them on the Beachbody On Demand. They can try a bunch of programs. And chances are they'll be like, I'm interested in this PIO program. Like, how do I get the rest of it? Or I'm interested in 21-day fix. How do I get the rest of it? So it's a really good gateway into them seeing what program they might potentially like, and it gets them signed up. That's another good way, because if they decide to keep the Beachbody On Demand, then they can they get charged for it in a month. I mean, I tell them all of that, but I usually just let them straight into my challenge group if they're going to go ahead and pay for it. So when the free group's over, I give them that option, like, hey, are you going to keep paying for it? Because if you are, I'll let you in my challenge group. Clean eating groups, we've got lots of different menus for that already. Yoga challenges. Be creative. Make it something that's like relates to you and your market. So like, I don't know, I even like a clean your house challenge. Like, you can do anything. It doesn't even have to be Beachbody related, honestly. I have had other coaches tell me they've been really successful with running groups, like a journaling challenge even, and then it leads people into talking to them more and then becoming comfortable approaching them about Beachbody. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Pick a partner and run one.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Any kind of value you can offer is great. And then groups for only 2 people. I actually had a one-on-one with one of my coaches, Anne, yesterday. I don't know if she's on the call right now, but she has a challenge group right now with just 2 people, and she said it's going really well and she's really enjoying it. And so challenge groups don't have to be large. They can just be a few people, even 2, and still be successful. Like, having more challengers gives more odds of engagement, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the big challenge groups are going to be really successful. There are times where my challenge group of over 100 members goes dead, and that's totally normal. And there's sometimes when it explodes with engagement. So there's always going to be those ebbs and flows, but it doesn't guarantee that those challenge groups are going to be better than the smaller ones. Smaller ones can always be better. Bigger ones can always be better. It just depends sometimes on the month. It depends on your engagement. And there's a lot of factors. It just all depends on what works for you, what doesn't work for you. It's just, you have to experiment. And ask your sponsor, if you're really uncomfortable with doing just 2 members, then you can ask your sponsor if they can participate in your challenge group, or you can partner up with another coach. And that way, if all of you only have 2 people, you can combine and then make it a group of 10 or something like that. I personally run one big open sport group right now that keeps growing and growing, and so I feel it needs to change. So far, I'll keep it this way. So for my first year, for sure, I never had above 5 to 6 members of challenge group until it got to a point where it was always about 10 to 12, and I always started a new group every single month.
So there's not really a right way to do this. Everyone has their own way of running their groups. I've messed with mine several times, tried different things. I have a very large group, and that's mostly because I don't really have an option of having small groups unless I split people up. And I don't really want to run 20 small challenge groups. But honestly, I sometimes like the feeling of small challenge groups better because it feels more intimate and I'm more able to keep up with my challengers. However, they both have pros and cons, so I kind of just went through my list here, like smaller, more intimate. People might feel more comfortable sharing or develop closer relationships, and you can keep a better tab on their progress. Like, it's more obvious if someone stops posting if there's only 6 people in the group versus if there's 70 people in the group. So you can go and know that you need to check in with that person, like, hey, what's up? Is everything going okay? Like, I noticed you stopped participating. And when you have a group of 70, it's pretty easy to not notice if someone has stopped posting. You can never have too few people. I think everyone should be running their own challenge groups. I do allow my coaches to let their clients in my challenge group, but I do think it's a great, it's a great exercise to just run your own. But they do require more participation from you. If you're not participating every day, multiple times a day, you can't expect your challengers to either. Bigger groups have a more community feel, and that's kind of where my group is right now. So your participants help each other. So it cuts down on the amount that you have to participate, and it cuts down on your work because people are answering questions before you even see them. It's also usually livelier. There's more posting. People are more engaged, all of that. But people can get lost in them, and I know that some people don't like the feeling of a large group like that. I've had people leave just because they don't like the feeling of a large group. So it's not really... there's no better way. There's just your way, and you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah. And so just basically piggybacking off of that, focus and assess what works for you. So this is referring to how many is too many in a group. Whatever works for you, just you can determine whether something's working or not. And so there's some coaches like Amy Silverman, for just an example, who has a giant wellness community with over 500 plus members, and that works really well for her. There's some coaches like Moni Mitro, top coach, who swears by small groups and still continues to run just for small, intimate groups every single month, and being really consistent, scheduling posts, and just being all about the small groups. So I don't believe in too many or too little. No matter what you do, there's always going to be some people who hate the small group and some people who hate the big group. There's going to be some people who love the small group and love the big group. It's your business in the end, and it's your own challenge group in the end. So whatever you think works, just keep it that way. You just have to see what you have greatest success with and just go from there. Benefits of the free Beachbody accounts. This is in referring to do they have to sign up, or what are the benefits of them signing up for a free coach account? So for me, it gives, like, basically just gives security. I always make sure that someone will sign up with a free account, excuse me, when I'm doing the free group. It just guarantees that when they're ready to purchase, they're not gonna, and they might not know how the system works, and they might accidentally purchase under another coach or something like that. You're not really knowing what they're doing, and it just creates a hassle later on to do a coach switch. So this just prevents that, basically. Just remind them and let them know anyway when they're ready to purchase that you're their coach, and to come to you anyway. But yeah.
I always made this a big priority. I never let anyone in my free groups without being signed under me. And then I realized, so I'm kind of like saying the opposite of Catherine. If you don't do this, it's okay too. I have a lot of people in my group right now who are not actually officially signed under me, but I keep close enough tabs on those people that when they're ready to purchase something, they ask me about it first. So as long as you're developing relationships, you should be okay. I try to check in with people at least once every 2 weeks. And I've had people say, okay, I was thinking about purchasing this, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up getting it from me. I still request that people do, if I'm doing a free group, I would still absolutely go with, yeah, can you sign up with a free Team Beachbody account and all of that. But if they don't, I might still let them in, mostly because I want to convert that person over to a Facebook. I'm talking from Instagram. Most of my people come from Instagram. But I still want to have them on Facebook and have them participating and being in the community, because I think that even if they're not ready to sign up for an account, because my biggest thing I get is, oh, I don't want to put in my credit card information for that free thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand that. Or they just don't want to go through the hassle of making an account. And I usually still let them in. And if they get something out of it, then they come back to me. So
the biggest takeaway is to keep track of people, basically. Yeah. Just keep track of your business.
In one way or another.
Yeah. And then social media to email, very simple. Ask for your email address. Personally, right now, I'm doing a lot more Facebook Messenger stuff, but I do use Streak, which is a Gmail add-on, to keep track of the movement in these conversations. So yes, it's annoying, but every single day I'll go back and I'll see where in the stages of that I'm talking to people, or if they say, yes, I'm interested in coaching, so I'll quickly add them to interested. And if you don't know what Streak is, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So there is a tutorial on the Team Healthier You page. It's the most amazing system ever, and you can use it to track anything. It doesn't just have to be email addresses that you're moving along. It could just be names, and that's how I do it. But the key takeaway is you must keep track of every convo, either way you choose to run your business. So whether it's Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, email address, you just have to keep track, because there's going to be a lot of people that you forget to follow up with, and following up with is where the magic really happens. And then my favorite quote is, what you measure will grow. So whatever you can measure will continue to grow, and that's something that you should be measuring. And then from Instagram, I use email exclusively, especially. And then when someone contacts me on Instagram, I'll just ask for an email address and be like, hey, it's so much easier to speak in email rather than this DM thing. I'm going to, I get a lot of DMs, so I'm going to lose track of this. So let's speak through email. And they're like, okay, here you go. Here's my email. Boom.
Yeah, always get an email. It's so much easier for tracking and follow-up through Streak. I have a whole list of like 400 people that I can, with one click, send an email to and follow up with them all at the same time. So it's worth it. It's a hassle, but it's worth it. And my main goal is getting people to Facebook. Until I max out on my friends on Facebook, like my main goal is to be getting everyone over there. So unlike Catherine with email and Instagram, if someone leaves me their email, I will talk to them over email. But if someone DMs me, I always ask first, or even sometimes if someone emails me, I always ask first, do you have a Facebook? And I get them over there onto the Messenger. I don't like, the Messenger for me, it's hard to track, but it's the most user-friendly interface for talking with people. Like I can quickly talk to people on there. People don't respond to email quickly, which bothers me because I like to have a back and forth. So as long as you find a way to track it that is good for you, I say Messenger is fine, especially right at the beginning, but you need to be, the main thing of like this last half of the call, track your stuff, figure out what you're doing, remember who you're talking to, write down people's names when they say they're interested in a program, or put them in a streak box or whatever, so that you can go back and follow up with them. But yeah, I've changed my system so many times. It's so much trial and error. Don't think because you have started using Streak that you have to use it forever if you don't like it. You can find something else. You just have to find what works for you because all of our brains work differently. So what I consider organized, my husband considers a complete mess. So, you just have to find what makes you comfortable and something you're able to keep up with and go from there.
And just a fun little fact or statistic in terms of why following up is important. I know like a lot of coaches, like me in the very beginning and Amy for a much longer time than me, always struggled with thinking that we're annoying people, but really following up with is why it's so magical is because there's a statistic that says that someone will say no to something 7 times before they say yes. And so people usually say yes or agree to something or think of something like as a really good idea, usually on the 8th time that they're exposed to it. So that's either they have to see 8 of your posts, which is why it's important to keep posting. They have to be asked 8 times or they have to. So it's really on the 8th time. And so sometimes some people will take like a year of following up with before they say yes, but eventually they will say yes. And then we don't have time for this, but gratitude, again, so important. Something that I kind of forgot about in the last week, and I realized that I was not doing my usual gratitude ritual, and so my mindset was completely messed up the last week, and I'm so thankful that finally I got a hold of it yesterday. But just a little quote: for 1 minute, walk outside, stand there in silence, look up at the sky, and contemplate how amazing life is. And that will be all for our team call. Thank you guys.
Post what you're grateful for in the team page.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to make a post right now, and I want everyone to comment 1 or 2 things that they're grateful for. And you guys all have a great night. Thank you guys so much for coming. Bye.